Greetings loyal subscribers and on guests, and welcome back to another episode of First Look Fridays, where this time I'm taking a look at the next release from Super Rare Games, which just came out last week, or was it late the week before that? It's fairly recent anyway, and that is Hell Pie. So this is a 3D platformer in much the same style as classic games like Ratchet and Clank or that sort of PS2 sort of era of 3D platformers. So without further ado, let's move on to looking at the game itself. So the idea behind this game is that you are an employee of Satan, basically, in hell. You're a demon of bad taste. So as you could imagine, there's quite a lot of gross stuff in this game. There's feces and demons that eat it, and blood and guts and all sorts of other sort of demonic stuff. So it's not exactly a kid-friendly game. So take that under advisement. But it's fairly good fun. It's obviously very darkly humorous. I would compare it to Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. Really, it's that sort of quite immature, puerile, and gross humour. Really, not as much profanity as Conker's Bad Fur Day. In fact, I haven't noticed any yet. It's just the overall theme and some of the stuff you're exploring and. So have you. So the first, let's say, 15 minutes or so are just sort of getting used to the basic running and jumping controls and exploring the building a little bit and collecting these purple things, which I'm not really sure what they're meant to be honest, but they're the currency in the game that you use so mainly buy more costumes. I don't think there's any sort of real functionality to collecting them. It's just sort of for the sake of spending them on other outfits for Nate, I think his name is, your demon. So here you are. You've arrived at well, you haven't quite arrived yet. This is Satan killing these guys quite gorily. So as I said already, not a kid's game. So these guys are exploded. But when you do actually get to speak to Satan yourself, he tells you that he wants you to make the hell pie of the title. So you have to first go off to the chef, who gives you a list of ingredients that you have to get. I'm going to move ahead to that bit. Because the game doesn't really start until you get to the chef. There's the outfits that you can buy. I think we're nearly there now. Here he is. So he gives you a list of ingredients to go and find, and basically each time you bring him a certain number of ingredients, that will in turn unlock other worlds for you to explore with more ingredients. So there's quite a few sort of hub worlds in the game, and within each hub there are smaller levels, usually which end in an ingredient for you to get. So that's the sort of structure of the game, and also a little while in you get a cherub. Here they are. I think if you speak to this guy, then he gives you your very own cherub, which is a little chunky angel on a leash, who flies around with you, and you basically use him like a grappling hook. You can jump and then press the right trigger to swing, and it just gives you a little bit more extension on your jump and lets you access places that you couldn't get to further. And then he has all sorts of abilities that you can buy. there's cans of meat that you pick up for Nugget, your cherub, and when he eats a certain number of cans, then you can buy more abilities on the skill tree. And these start off as quite straightforward things, like giving you extra swings, because you just start off with one swing of the sort of grapple. Here you go, that's me buying the very first upgrade. So you can see there's quite a lot of upgrades to buy, and as you progress down the tree, the extra abilities get more and more expensive. You have to collect more cans, basically, and these are hidden all the way around the game in different places in the worlds. Yeah, it's encourages you to explore. Oh, I missed my jump there. So it's a bit annoying getting killed, because you lose 20 of your purple crystal thingies, which is quite a lot, I think, for just mistiming your jump and falling in the lava. But there's no lives or anything like that. Lives haven't been a thing in most 3D platformers for a long time now, and this is no exception in that regard. So I'm going to, I think, skip forward into the first real level. This supermarket is kind of a level, but I want to get onto the first hub, which is a tropical island. So here it is. This was a bit more interesting than exploring a supermarket or hell itself. I think it's a bit brighter and more enjoyable, but there's still quite gross stuff going on, as you'll see as we get further in. Yeah, so right at the start of this, you're given another ability to use your normal horns. They're called. And then it sort of filters the world with that grey colour, and shows you where items of interest are, and also other levels, which are sort of yellow symbols on the radar. Oh, and there's a map as well. You can bring up a map and see where all the teleporters and other items are. So here's a little Unilamb, I think he's called, because he's a unicorn lamb, and you have to sacrifice him in this at this shrine to earn another set of horns which have a charge ability on them. So I'm guessing you're going to have to keep collecting these little lambs as you go, and then sacrificing them to these shrines, and getting more and more types of horn. But I've only seen the first type so far. And again, you have to mash the A button to break off his little horn, which is gross, and then put it in the dish. So yeah, not a particularly nice game, really, if you're an animal friend or what have you. But you can't take it very seriously. It's very cartoony, as you see. And I was having a fairly good time. Oh yeah, I forgot. Before you get your set of horns, there's a sort of Mario Galaxy style mini level where you have to use them to get through, and then you earn them effectively. So yeah, I am having quite a good time with this game. My main issue is that I have been playing Psychonauts 2 recently, right around playing this for the first time, and that is what I would consider a top tier platform game. In fact, it's close to being as good as Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey in my own opinion, whereas this is a decidedly B tier platform game, which doesn't look as nice or feel as good to control or any of that. It is a decent game, don't get me wrong, but it's not up there with the absolute best platform games in the genre, as well, I think anyway. here's one of those tins of meat that I was talking about. So they're all over the place. You just have to roam around and collect them. And as you can see, when I picked that one up, it told me how many there were in this hub. So there's 24 to find just in this tropical outside part. And there's 11 of those unilambs now that I've just picked up the third one. Yeah, there are, as I said, sub-levels within these levels, and I'll just show you an example of that. It's not a very nice place, this, because it's the sewers, I think, or the sewage treatment plant at least, and it's full of these little walking poo creatures that attack you, and these other demons that basically eat poop. So yeah, very poor taste game, really. But yeah, you just have to know what you're getting into before you buy it or start playing it, really, and then just deal with it. It's sort of South Park or Conker's Bad Fur Day type stuff that I've said already. But yeah, so this is the first sort of real level. I don't think I managed to find everything in here, because there are 4 of those poop-eating demons that are locked up in cages, and I managed to free 2 of them, but I didn't find 2, so I need to go back and check more thoroughly where the other ones are. Yeah, so like I said, this isn't a bad platformer by any means, but it's just it doesn't quite stack up with the best. And personally, I think I prefer the likes of KO the Kangaroo, the remake that came out recently. That was quite enjoyable, but had a critical bug that meant it couldn't be completed at the time. I think that's now been fixed, so I want to go back to that. But yeah, this is decent, I would say. Sometimes I pick up these super rare games without knowing too much about the game itself. But in the case of this one, I had seen the game before being played on an episode of UPF on Giant Bomb quite a long time ago now, last year. One thing to note actually is that when this game originally launched on the Switch, it had quite bad performance issues, and I was concerned that they would still be present in the game. But the version on the cart that they've given us is the patched version, so all the major technical issues are resolved now. But having said that, I wouldn't say the game performs well 100% of the time. There are still sort of stutters and bits of slowdown and graphical glitching, even now in this optimized version. So I wouldn't say it's perfect, but I think that's probably just a side effect of it running on the Switch. If this is available on other platforms, which I will check before I upload this video and put it in the info bar, then I would imagine it runs better on other systems, and it is on Steam, that's for sure. And I can see this running quite easily on the Steam Deck, but I don't know whether it's actually compatible or not. So that's another thing I'll check when I edit this together. So I haven't really got much more to add about Hell Pie. If you do like a platforming game, then consider it. But if the themes don't appeal to you or gross you out, then maybe give it a miss. There's other platformers for you if that's the case. So this is the penultimate episode for now of First Look Fridays. I'm going to do one more after this, but I haven't decided what it's going to be about yet. But there are plenty of candidates that I could look at, so we'll just see what I fancy looking at next time. After that, I'm going to go back to making the Commodore 64 cover tape Chaos episodes. So the first 2 of those will be the next generation episodes, because I'm a bit behind actually in looking at those. I've got 2 to do, and then I'll be up to date for now. And after that, I'll kick off the classic tapes from Zap back in the day, and probably try and finish them off this year for good. And then there might be other magazines that I could move on to after that, but that's a long way off still. And interspersed between the episodes of Cover Tape Chaos, I shall do more modern stuff. As I just said, I've just finished the campaign of Psychonauts 2, so I might do a Xbox Zone review of that, because it was on the Xbox Series X that I played it. And I've also got some other sort of retro content planned, but I'm not going to say what that is yet in case it doesn't come to pass, because I have a tendency to say I'm going to do this, that and the other, and then it never materialises. So I hopefully learn my lesson this time, and I'll just wait and see if I do actually manage to put together what I'm planning. So anyway, that's enough rambling on. As always, thank you for watching this video, and yeah, I'll see you next week for the final episode for now. Not permanently, but yeah, I want to start doing other things. So yeah, I'll see you then, and in the meantime, take care.